Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my Q&A. This is part one. This is very exciting. I haven't done a Q&A in a while and I wanted to, I guess, kind of just end the year with a Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A definitely since I've hit 3,000 subs, which I'm still intending to do a live for at some point. So I'll get there one day. Also, if you don't follow me on other socials, I do currently have COVID. The line today when I did it was slightly more faint, so this is day 6. And I'm really chesty, and so yeah, if I'm breathing heavily and that annoys you, I'm sorry. I physically can't breathe otherwise. So as I said, this will be part one, so this will be questions from Twitter and the community tab, and then part 2 will be all the questions that were commented below the YouTube video that I put out just asking for questions. They are predominantly Doctor Who questions. There are some Blake 7 in these ones. I think there's Strange Things ones, and there's a couple non-related to TV and film. So I don't know how long it's going to be. Probably I'd like to keep it about 15 minutes because I just cannot breathe. So grab yourself a drink, mulled wine, coffee, lemonade, whatever you fancy. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those videos where you just pop me on in the background. I don't expect any of you to sit here and truly listen. So if you're here, thanks for joining. I really do appreciate it. I've also had to get up a list of all the Doctor Who episodes. Obviously, I won't scroll past where I'm up to with the 6th Doctor, but I've briefly looked through questions and there's going to be questions about stories and stuff, and I can't bloody remember every single one. So if I'm looking at the laptop, that's where I've got the questions written. Oh god, my breathing. I actually received some really lovely questions. No, I didn't. I actually received some really lovely comments as well. So thanks guys. That's honestly just really kind of you to take time out to write nice things. So I'm going to read them, but I won't say names. Just I'm blaming COVID for my weirdness, even though you guys know I've been at this for 4 years. Right. Number 1. This has been my first year following you, so thank you. You've cheered me up a lot. Thank you. As for new shows, I see someone has mentioned the Tripods, and I agree totally. Another 80s sci-fi classic is Chucky. And less sci-fi, but still brilliant, is Robin of Sherwood. I have never heard of Chucky. Is that Chucky, or is that a misspelling? Okay. Always open to new suggestions. Always. Also, I would like to say keep up with the amazing work, as I've been watching you since your classic Who reactions. I'm loving your Blake 7. Yay! Oh, you're just a sweet, caring person, and I hope your channel gets bigger and can't wait to see shows and other shows and reactions. I mean, it's almost like I've just planted that, haven't I? Guys, look at me. That's genuinely a comment. That's honestly just very kind. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to watch my videos. So then it goes on. If you don't mind, I have some shows you might be interested in to react to if you wish. Okay, so they have suggested Blackadder. Blackadder is a Patreon exclusive TV show, so I already do Blackadder. Red Dwarf, I do remember watching the odd episode when I was younger. Was it on around the time that Robot Wars was on? Do you remember that? 2 teams would make a robot. It was a Sunday night thing. But I don't really remember the premise of Red Dwarf. I remember obviously Danny John Jules in it. But that's definitely one I would like to, I say revisit. I mean, I must have been 10, younger. Only Fools and Horses, yes, I have seen the odd episode. I don't know. It's not one of the classics that I've sat down to watch, so that's a great suggestion. Bottom is the other suggestion. Yes, I remember watching again. It's another one of those things that I caught a couple of episodes of when I was younger. And Star Trek, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Am I boring you yet? 5 minutes and I'm oh god, we're going to be here a while. I've loved seeing your channel grow this year, not only in terms of subscribers, but pushing more shows and content out. Looking forward to what you do next. Thank you. That's been a real step for me this year. It's really terrifying when you start a new show, and when I started Blake 7, for example, which has been a bit of a breakthrough for me, you know, I went into it thinking I might not like... Mum's cooking. I went into it thinking I might not like any more shows from the 70s and 80s. Just because I like Doctor Who doesn't mean that I'll like any others. So Blake 7 has given me a real confidence boost in that, and Wurzel Gummidge, I guess, as well. But that's just John Pertwee. Anyway, question number 1. How would you rank the classic Doctors so far? This question is painfully hard to answer because my top 2 are obvious. My first place is the third Doctor. That is non-negotiable. I don't think that's ever going to change. In second place is the second Doctor. After that, I genuinely don't know, because I don't feel fair on the first Doctor because I watched him so long ago, like 4 years ago. So I don't feel fair. Just, I don't know. I feel like I need to see his episodes again. And I think it also depends on what are we rating it on. Are we just talking about the Doctors themselves? Are we talking about their stories as a whole? Are we talking about them with the companions? I just think there's so many factors. If I had to do a third place, I'd probably put maybe the 5th Doctor, followed by the 1st Doctor, followed by the 6th, followed by the 4th. Would be my initial gut reaction to that. But yeah, that's hard. Question 2. What is some of your favourite sets from 80s Doctor Who? This is why I needed a list of episodes, because I can't bloody remember anyway, can I? Memory of a sieve over here. Add COVID on top of that. Can't remember a bloody thing. So basically, my favourite sets are the ones that are like white-walled. What is the word for it? I just call it very white-walled, hospital-esque. So it makes me think of when we met Leela. There was a bit where they were in like this building. I remember commenting on that. I've also really liked the sets when we're in Gallifrey. Also, there's an episode with Sarah Jane. Oh wait, you said from the 80s. My bad. Well, because I was going to say Carnival of Monsters. Ooh, that set. Stunning. Sorry, I keep knocking the thing. Right, from the 80s, you said. From the 80s. Ooh, the Leisure Hive. That was nice. But the one I was talking about with Sarah Jane is the one with Sarah Jane, Harry. They're in like... There's like creatures in like pods. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're like on a spaceship. Oh, I guess also there's another one I've just thought of as well. In my head, I know. It's going to make no sense to you. Sets. Oh, the Keeper of Traken. The Keeper of Traken's my favourite. I mean, I bloody love that story anyway, but the sets... Yes, please. Absolutely. Let's choose some from the 5th Doctor. Ooh, The Visitation. Yes. Oh, Black Orchid is my favourite from the 5th Doctor. I mean, come on. It's like a beautiful, stately home. Yes. Earthshock, though. Oh, Mordred Undead as well. I really like the set of Mordred Undead. I really liked the set of Mordred Undead. Yeah. Ooh, Enlightenment as well. It's a good set. Right, Marie-Clare, I'm at 10 minutes. This is going to be long. Question 3. Do any companions from Peter Davison or Colin Baker era rank up as some of your favourites? Nyssa, for sure. I love Nyssa. I think she's probably in my top 5. Oh God, I don't even know if I could do a top 5 companions from the classic era. No, I don't even know if she would be, you know. When you start thinking of like Jamie, Victoria, Stephen. But Nyssa, for sure. Tegan, no, not Tegan. Perry really grew on me. I, for a very long time, could not see past her accent. I'm not an American, but to me it was so obviously fake that that's all I could hear. But actually, she was a really great companion. She's a really great companion. But Nissa for me is the standout between that era so far. Lots of you suggesting some amazing shows, by the way, which I'm always so grateful for. This one says, "Hi Marie-Clare, and you spelt my name correctly, so thank you so much. I'm quite new, so apologies if you've been asked this before. It's great to see people's suggestions for TV shows to react to. The Day of the Triffids, the 80s one, okay? Ghost Watch, love the sound of that. Jonathan Creek, yeah, I've seen Jonathan Creek. I love Jonathan Creek. Hammer House of Horror, which I've done one reaction to on Patreon, I think. The one with the woman in the house. And Star Trek, The Next Generation would be some of mine. Star Trek keeps being popped up. But I was wondering if you've ever thought of covering a film series. Seeing you go through all the Bonds or Star Wars would be great fun. All the best. Thank you." Yes. So I used to do it on Patreon, but it just didn't work for me. I really struggle with attention span. And in just my day-to-day life, sitting down and watching a film for me is something I only really do when I'm in the cinema, or it's a film I really, really want to watch, like Glass Onion that's coming out like next week. So yes, it is something I'm planning on doing in 2023. My plan is to do a film reaction, to put the 10-minute version on YouTube and to put an extended version on Patreon. I'm not willing to put the full version out. I don't think anyone is going to sit there alongside you and watch a film. I could be wrong. But I think my plan is to then do just like an extended, like an hour-long version on Patreon. James Bond, yes. So I have only seen Daniel Craig ones. And I saw the latest one because my boyfriend wanted to go to the cinema to watch it. And I've watched the first one he did, and I'm like halfway through the second. So the Bond films is definitely something I want to do. You've also mentioned Star Wars. That is also something I really want to do. I feel quite overwhelmed to start Star Wars. The other one that I really want to do is Lord of the Rings. So yes, 100% will be starting films. I really hope you enjoy, because I know it's going to be a lot of editing. What have been your favourite stories from the 5th and the 6th Doctors? Okay, let's go. I mean, the 5th Doctor. It's the 5 Doctors, but then does that count? I actually can't think about that too much because I will genuinely cry because I just love John Pertwee so much. You have no idea. Well, you do have an idea. But if I had to choose otherwise, it would be Mordrin Undead or Black Orchid. I will never, I can't, I remember everything about the day that I watched Mordrin Undead. That feeling in my stomach of seeing the Brigadier is a feeling I will carry in my heart forever. And that sounds so cheesy. But then seeing him come back again for the 5 Doctors, it had been so long since we'd seen the Brig. It wasn't even in like my brain space that we would potentially see him again, ever. Obviously we'd had the 3 Doctors, so I guess there was a part of me for that anniversary. I was like, okay, I think I said I thought the 4th Doctor may come back. So those will be my 2 for the 5th Doctor. For the 6th Doctor, obviously I can't really. Ooh, the 2 Doctors was good. I'm really trying to not see anything. I don't know for the 6th Doctor. Maybe the 2 Doctors. I've definitely given some 10 out of 10. I gave Revelation of the Daleks 10. Oh, that was a nice set. Maybe Revelation of the Daleks, which is very interesting because I don't normally rate them that highly, these Dalek stories, but I'll give him that. Right, I'm at 16 minutes. Next question. My very first Doctor and companion was Tom Baker and Leela, and the first story I was introduced to was The Talons of Wen Chang, or Chiang, I can't remember what you guys said, on VHS in 1998, and immediately fell in love with the show. So my first question is, what was your first Doctor, companion, and story? Classic Who, I started from the beginning. It was Not an Earthly Child. With the newer era, I don't remember specific. I remember seeing Blink, and I remember the Doctor and Martha being my first kind of rough introduction. But the first time that I committed to Doctor Who was Partners in Crime with Donna and the Doctor. But my first memory of Doctor Who was Blink, because I was terrified. What are your hopes for the next era of the show, and are you looking forward to Ncuti Gatwa's portrayal? And what are your thoughts on the show going to Disney? I think it can only be a good thing, the show going to Disney. My only concern is, and I spoke about this with Jodie's era, particularly her first season, it felt too grand for me. It felt too movie-esque. Maybe Classic Who has done this to me, but I like it quite stripped back, basic. I'm not saying that we need to see sets where you can see the strings, you know, and all this like stuff. But I think there's a reason why Doctor Who in the 2000s, early 2000s was popular. And it's because it was just not overcomplicated. And I don't want the budget to go too big scale, because I don't think it needs to be done. But I trust Russell with what he's going to do with it, if that makes sense. I am very excited for Ncuti. Very, very, very excited. I've never seen him in anything else. I've never seen Sex Education. I'm very excited about the companion. I just have a really good feeling, and I'm excited for the first time. I didn't have this with Jodie, not because I didn't like Jodie, but I was very apprehensive about the Doctor being female, just to kind of see how it was going to be. But I just think Russell being behind it for me has just made me like, I trust him. I just trust him. But I'm really excited. I feel like Ncuti's going to have this flair. And I keep saying, I think we're going to have like a Pertwee Capaldi flair, you know, velvet, this kind of thing. That's probably what I'm hoping for. So yeah, if we can, I really want to try and keep this channel as positive as possible, because with Jodie's era, the comments that were on some of my videos regarding her were absolutely disgusting. And there's just no need to be like that in everyday life. Like, we just don't need that negativity. We're all having a tough time. Life is hard. Let's just spread a bit of kindness. And if you don't have anything nice to say about Ncuti, just don't say it. Let's all just be positive about Doctor Who going forward. Yes, that's what I say. Hear, hear. I've just said hear, hear to myself. Okay. Do you think it's about time we had an alien companion in New Who, like Susan, Leela, Romana, Adric, Nyssa and Turlough, and give the Earth companions a rest for a while just for a change? Do you agree? Interesting. I'm going to have a quick drink. I was thinking about this one because I don't think it really makes a difference for me, because they look human, you know? I don't really care where the companion comes from. Like, I just don't think it affects anything. It just doesn't affect anything from me. So, I mean, I don't think it's a necessity that they do it, but I think it would be cool if they did it. Does that make sense? I feel a bit impartial about it. Like, as long as the companion's good, I don't really care where they get them from. So maybe it will happen again in the future. I don't know. My final question is, have you seen the original Lost in Space series? If not, I highly recommend. No, I've not seen Lost in Space. I shall add it to the list. Honestly, when I do the next poll for what, like the next show that I do, it's gonna be interesting to see what comes out on top, because Sapphire and Steel is going to be on the list, and there's another one as well that's been on the list. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see what you guys vote for. I will eventually watch everything, but it's just, what do I do next? Someone else here mentions Star Trek. And also something newer and weirder, the TV show Lost. Lost is something I have wanted to watch for so long. That's the one where they like the plane crashes or something. That's one I definitely want to watch. But again, it's like the balance of I want to watch it, but would anyone else be interested? So let me know. Because it's an American show, and that I just don't naturally sit with American shows. Love watching your videos from Doctor Who to Blake Seven and Wurzel, but for the 1970s programme that is a must watch and possibly one of the greatest productions ever, is a show called I, Claudius. Easily Brian Blessed's best acting performance. And also John Hurt is truly terrific. Okay, I've not heard of it before. I'm going to have a long old list. Thank you so much for the recommendations though, it's really kind of you. Next question. Did Power of the Doctor get you excited to meet the 7th Doctor and Ace? Which incidentally is my favourite era of the entire show. Yes, because it made me think of all the companions they could bring back, they chose Ace. Obviously there are some companions you couldn't bring back because they are no longer with us, sadly. But yeah, it made me think, ooh, she must be popular or you wouldn't bring her back. And the response I saw on Twitter towards her was really positive. So yeah, I'm excited. And she was like badass as well. So I love a strong female. So yeah, really excited. And I don't think it spoiled anything for me. If comments were made, they didn't mean anything to me. So they just, yeah, in that regard, I think they did the right balance of old companions. What is the worst story of the classic series you've seen so far? Well, Twin Dilemma was just not my cup of tea at all. Let's go back. I don't think the 5th Doctor's era. I think the 5th Doctor's era was actually rated quite highly. Let's go 4th Doctor. God, some of these I can't remember. God, do you remember the Pirate Planet? Oh dear. Honestly, I forget some of these. Underworld. That was with K9, right? I don't think I liked that. My third Doctor, what didn't I like? Oh my God, I love the 3rd Doctor so much. Oh my God, the Monster of Peladon. God, that takes me back. Makes me feel a bit sad actually looking at this. The Mutants I didn't like. No thank you. I didn't like either Doctor Who and the Silurians. Oh my God, Inferno. Oh, I miss this era of Doctor Who. Is it so weird that I have like nostalgia for 70s Doctor Who? Because I seriously do. Oh God, First Doctor. The Crotons, I don't think that was that popular. I mean, my least favourite so far overall, Underworld, I really remember not liking, and Twin Dilemma. Yeah, so I'd probably say those two. Next question. Do you think the 10th Doctor is slightly overrated? I mean, that's kind of hard for me to answer because he's my favourite Doctor, along with the 3rd Doctor. And he's the Doctor that I was introduced to. And I mean, my answer is going to be no, because I think there's a reason that he's so loved. And that reason's going to be different for everyone, right? I just think he's an unbelievable actor. And I think a lot of things fell into place for the 10th Doctor. I think his stories as a whole are really great. Obviously, there's some weaklings, like Fear Her. Great companions, great stories. Just like the Master. Like, he just had really bloody good run. And I think that plays a part into why the 10th Doctor is so loved. I adore David Tennant anyway as an actor. Like, I just think he's undeniable in his talent. So I would always defend the actor as well. So he's not for me, but that's, you know, if someone else doesn't, you know, think he's as great, then that's absolutely fine. Right, non-Doctor Who. This is from the same person. Which Stranger Things character do you feel has had the strongest arc or development? My first thought is Joyce. But then Joyce has always been a bit of a badass, right? She was always a bit feisty. You could say Hopper, like, look at him. You could I mean, I feel like 11 is the obvious answer, right? Will. Do you know what? I'm going to say Nancy, because I just feel like she's got more empowered every season. I'm going to say Nancy. What are the pros and cons of watching a TV series as opposed to a movie? I would choose a TV series all day long. Pros, you can watch it in different episodes as and when you want. The other pros, you can binge it if you want. The con is if it's released weekly, you have to wait. I think also with a TV series, you can spread it out. If you're really enjoying it, you can be like, right, I'm actually going to watch the next episode tomorrow. Whereas with a film, you're watching it all in one go. I'm just a TV series person. And the sixth question was, have you seen Years and Years? I don't think so. No. Is that another one for the list? Guys, I'm at 30 minutes and I've still got a page and a half. Oh, gosh. Right, this is a really long paragraph. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read the whole thing. Another mention of Red Dwarf. Okay. Oh, gosh. There's lots of questions. What was your favourite Pertwee story of his 5-season run? If you can't name one, if you can, name just one. And then there's another suggestion of Will Any Gentleman? Comedy starring Pertwee and Hartnell. Ooh. He also starred in The House That Dripped Blood. Okay. Oh, he also appeared in 4 Carry On films. Carry On is something I do want to do. Amazing. Well, thanks for these Pertwee suggestions. My favourite, the one that always springs to mind for the Third Doctor is Terror of the Autons. That's just the one that just like pops into my head, but I shall have a look. I shall have a wee look. Do you know what? Looking back though, Spearhead from Space is great. I didn't like it at the time. Inferno's really great. Oh gosh. Terror of the Autons, The Mind of Evil, Day of the Daleks. Oh gosh. I remember rating Frontier in Space quite highly as well, I think. I think Terror of the Autons is the one that like whacks me around the head when I think of the Doctor, because it was an Earth story, wasn't it? And it was just, oh yeah, liked me a bit of Terror of the Autons. What are your predictions for the 6th Doctor's run and for Blake 7? Predictions for the 6th Doctor is the 6th Doctor's going to carry on trial. I think the Master is behind fiddling with the Matrix. I think the Master is sat in the jury in the dark, and I think there's going to be a big reveal. That's my brain making off my own story. And I think that we will lose him at the end of the trial of a Time Lord, because that just seems natural. Predictions for Blake 7, genuinely, anything could happen. Anything could happen. I do think we're going to lose members, because the thumbnail on BritBox, there's a couple of people that we don't currently have, and there's a couple of people that we currently have that aren't on there. So I do think we're going to have a death. I can't imagine anyone just leaving. Just being like, oh, right, I'm off now. See ya. You know, like how companions sometimes do in Doctor Who, they like fall in love. And so there's going to be deaths, right? I think stuff may happen with Travis and the Supreme Commander. I think I'm hoping for a big battle on Earth. But genuinely anything could happen with Blake Seven. Apart from the classic It's a Wonderful Life, have you seen The Muppets, A Christmas Carol? Nope. Gremlins? Nope. Lost Christmas? Nope. Or the Narnia movies? Yes, I've seen The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I've not seen It's a Wonderful Life. I watch the same things again and again. Like if I find a film I like, that's the film that I stick with. It's just how I am. Right, if you could travel with any Doctor, both classic or new era, which one would it be and which villain would you like to face off against? I'm going to say a plot twist here, and I'm going to say I'm going to travel with the 11th Doctor. And I would like to face off against the Vashta Nerada. I like them. It's cool. Scary. Obviously, as long as the deal is that I survive. I would also like to travel with Third Doctor and face off against the Master, like the Roger Delgado Master. That would be super cool. What got you watching Doctor Who? Were you influenced by friends or did you just go for it solo? I think I just went for it solo. I think my sister watched the Eccleston era, but I can't fully remember. I think I just went for it solo. I don't remember I don't think I had any friends that watched it. I just think it was one of those things I just ended up picking up one Saturday evening. Who is your favourite classic companion? I was like picking between my niece and my nephew. I don't have a favourite. I adore Jamie. I adore Leela. I adore Nissa. I adore Babs and Ian. I adore Victoria. There's my favourites. I probably missed someone. What's bigger, Pertwee's nose or Tom's grin? Tom's grin. Big old grin. Favourite version of the theme tune? I probably prefer the theme tunes. Oh my god, the dog. I probably prefer the theme tunes the older they get. Like I really like Hartnell's, like the OG one. I think I definitely prefer the ones like 60s and 70s than later than that, where they start to get a bit... I'm not saying I don't like them, I really like the original theme tune. Any goals for next year? Dream goal would be to buy a house. Probably not going to happen during a recession. And with all the interest rates and stuff. But that would be my absolute dream. Goals, just to be happy. I know that's so cliche, but I think the older you get, like you just want your family to be happy and healthy. I want Jasper to be healthy. I want my family to be happy. That's all I want. And have I seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy? No, I haven't. I have not seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there for this one because I'm at 36 minutes. There are still a few questions left on this, but I will transfer them over to the second part of the Q&A. I will try and edit this down to less than 30 minutes because this is ridiculous. Thank you so much for joining me. Part 2 will be out in a few days. I really, really hope you enjoyed. If you have any answers to the questions that you would like to respond to, them please leave them below. Like, who's your favourite classic companion? No spoilers though, only up to Mel. And yes, I shall see you in a few days' time for part 2. Bye.